Hello and welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, November 19th, and I'm your host, Kristen McDonald. It is great to have you with us as we end another week here in Norwood. Thursday, the Norwood Police Department announced that they had made an arrest of an individual that was running what they referred to as a grandparent scam. Chief Brooks recaps the arrest and gives tips to all residents on how to avoid being scammed yourself.
On Wednesday, our detectives and patrol officers arrested a man in connection with the so-called grandparent scam. So what happened is that a woman had gone to the bank on Tuesday and had withdrawn about $13,000 in cash. She returned to the bank later that day to withdraw more money, $40,000. And one of the bank employees became suspicious of it and tried to talk to her about it. And at first she was not forthcoming, so the bank called us. And we went down and we talked to the woman. Well, come to find out, the reason that she wasn't forthcoming initially is because someone who had called her had told her that that there was a gag order and that she shouldn't discuss what he was discussing with her. The way that this had all begun to roll out was that this woman received a telephone call from a woman who was crying and sobbing, who she believed to be her granddaughter. And the granddaughter basically was saying that she was in jail in South Carolina. A man got on the phone saying that he was an attorney and asking the woman to withdraw money so that the granddaughter could be bailed out. Now, all this time, our resident, who's an 88-year-old woman, really believed that she had spoken briefly with her granddaughter. So that's why she had gone to the bank to take out the $13,000, but these people were a little greedy and they told her to take out another $40,000. And that's, of course, when the bank employee became suspicious. After we got involved and explained to the woman what was really happening, and actually the woman was able to talk to the granddaughter by phone to confirm all this, the woman immediately said that she'd be happy to help us and would play along. So when the call came in from the so-called attorney, she did talk to him and arrangements were made to send a courier to pick up the money. So the same man who had picked up the $13,000 on Tuesday arrived there Wednesday morning to pick up the envelope containing $40,000. Well, it was an envelope, but it didn't contain $40,000. It was a package that had been put together by the detectives. And when he received the package, detectives and uniformed officers moved in and placed him under arrest. He's a 25-year-old man from Georgia. And oddly enough, that during this investigation at the same bank, that same bank employee became suspicious of another set of circumstances involving a second person, a woman who does not live in Norwood but lives in another jurisdiction. And as a result, we referred that case to that police department. So I think the message here is multifold. So first of all, these scams are rampant. And in the so-called grandparent scam, the caller will pretend to be a granddaughter, a grandson, maybe a nephew, niece. They will typically say that, one, they've been in an accident, or number two, they've been arrested, or number three, they've been abducted. And they'll need cash, and they'll need cash right away. So that's something to kind of look out for. Really the best thing to do if you ever receive a call like that is call the person who is purportedly calling you. Now, our 88-year-old resident tried to do that, but the call did not go through because her granddaughter was in class in college. So that's one thing. Number two, these things are never true. No attorney is going to call you and ask you to get a bunch of cash and to go somewhere. You should call the police if you receive a call like that, and we'll help you navigate that. In the event that it is true, we'll help you with that. So I guess that's number one. And number two, really our hat is off to that bank employee. She did a wonderful job. She obviously was able to prevent the theft of $40,000 from the senior citizen just by being aware, being really on the ball, and calling the police when she thought it was appropriate. And as it turns out, she prevented a second theft on the same day. So my hat's off to her. Good work by our detectives and officers putting the whole thing together. And that 25-year-old subject is currently being held on high bail at the Dedham Jail.
Thanks, Chief, and great work by everyone involved, especially the bank teller. On January 3rd, the town of Norwood will be hosting a special election to fill the open selectman seat that became vacant with the sudden passing of David Hajar. Earlier this week was the deadline to enter as a candidate. According to Mary Lou Folan, town clerk, there will be 3 candidates: Amanda Groh, Alan Howard, and Matthew O'Neill. The ballot will not become official until after December 1st, as that is the deadline to withdraw. Voter registration deadline is Tuesday, December 14th at 8 p.m., and absentee ballot applications are on the town's website. NCM will be covering January 3rd special election and will provide night of results. Stay tuned after this break for more town news. Welcome back. The Commission on Disability was recently reinstated by the town manager. Chairperson Laura Duran explains the importance of utilizing this board in local government.
Access in all sorts of ways remains an issue for people with disabilities. We're thinking about and trying to address simultaneously while trying to get the commission off the ground. Are we offering closed captioning for people who may be deaf or hard of hearing? Do we have ASL interpreters for our meetings? Is there an option for people who an in-person event might be too stimulating, things like that. So allowing people who are differently abled to have access to all the same resources that everyone else does, that continues to be a major issue in the disability community, and should be an issue for all of us, because we want everyone to be able to fully enjoy the benefits that living in Norwood has to offer.
The Commission is actively seeking new members. For more information, visit the Talent Bank on the town's website. Parking wars not in Norwood Center. Charlotte Walsh, president of Friends of Norwood Center, walks to the 3 large public parking lots in Norwood Center to explain the benefits of parking in Norwood Center.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Charlotte Walsh with the Friends of Norwood Center, and I'm here today to talk about parking and how wonderful it is in Norwood Center that we have free parking for anyone who wants to come down. Right now I'm standing here on Washington Street, and we have free 2-hour parking all day long here on the main street. But if that is full, we have some other free lots that we're going to take you to right now. Here we are at the Cottage Street lot. We are right behind National Lumber. This is all day free parking, ample spaces. You have a short walk to get your hair done, to get a cup of coffee, to pick up a sandwich, to go get an ice cream cone. Now we're at the Central Street Market. In just a couple minutes, we walked over from Cottage Street, and again we have a giant lot, all day free parking. To my right here is the Spot. To my left is the juice bar. It's kind of blocked by this truck. Behind me is the Civic Center in Santander. So there are lots of things you can get to from this lot, and it's literally a 2-minute walk to any place that you would like to go. I am here at the corner of Day Street and Central Street to talk about our third free public parking lot in Norwood Center. I am behind Bibelos. Over to my right is the custom framing and art. We have Nappertandy's right behind me, and Vico is right in front of me. We also have Lewis's just steps away. So as you can see, lots of free parking all day. There is a 2-hour limit. However, is there a 2-hour limit? No, all day. You can park your car here all day, shop, eat, go to a show. Again, very convenient to all the shops and restaurants here in Norwood Center. So we hope you can understand where the lots are, take advantage of them. If you want to get your steps in and you're able and mobile, it's great to use these lots. And then you can kind of open up the spaces right in front of stores for people who might have mobility issues or can't walk as far. So come to Norwood Center. We've got plenty of parking.
Just a reminder to residents that next week is Small Business Saturday, and Norwood Center will be hosting a scavenger hunt with gift cards as prizes.
We are going to be hosting a Small Business Saturday scavenger hunt, and shoppers will be able to pick up postcards at participating small businesses. And on the back of the card are a list of small businesses in Norwood Center. All they need to do is dine, shop, buy a gift card at one of those stores, put a check next to the box, and turn in their card at the end of the day at Charles River Running. So when you make 3 purchases, you get entered in to win a gift card.
Thanks, Charlotte. Make sure you get out there and support all the small businesses that are so vital to our town. Now we're going to toss it over to Miles Kidd for school news.
Hi guys, I'm Miles Kidd, and let's take a look at some activities happening in our Norwood schools this week. At Norwood High School, the students and staff were dressed in purple to show support for Pulmonary Hypertension Awareness Month. Recently, one of the senior students lost a relative due to pulmonary hypertension, and with the help of Student Council, they brought awareness to the cause. Every year, CMS Student Council holds a food drive for the Norwood Food Pantry. The food pantry shared specific items that were in high need, so they collected those specific items and had an incredible turnout of 23 full boxes. Great job to the CMS Student Council, and thanks to Mrs. Daltstead and Ms. Deneen for the transportation help. Also at the Coakley, 8th grade students in Ms. Seratis' class are making games for their circuit playgrounds. Let's take a look.
Okay, so this is my project. It's the hot potato one. Don't question why it's holding a spoon. So when you press, when you press A, it starts doing this. Okay, it's yours. So it's like yours. It like set. It's yours. My God, okay. Okay, so I lost. So basically, it like sets a random time, and then like at some point, it like when after passing it back and forth, it like sets off, and then you can just like. I keep forgetting which is which. You can just reset it. Yours. No! No! Yours! Oh my God, no, yours. Don't break the spoon! Don't break the spoon!
It was nice to have David Hiltz from the Norwood School Committee stop by the Balch School this week to say hello. Mr. Hiltz was able to walk through many classrooms, including music and art. Here he is checking out 4th grade art with Miss Korfman. Principal Diane Ferreira in the Balch School say thanks for stopping by. The Cleveland Student Council wrapped up 2 community service projects last week in honor of Veterans Day. Boxes of leftover Halloween treats were delivered to the Home for Our Troops organization, and personal items for veterans from a donation drive went to the VA hospital in West Roxbury. It's been 2 years, but the Cleveland Fall Book Fair is back. Students were excited to browse books made available by the Unlikely Bookstore and Cafe in Plainville. The world of science is happening at the Cleveland. First graders worked on bird beaks and animal adaptation. Meanwhile, 5th grade students collaborated on light and shadow experiments and created support structures for pumpkins. The Prescott School also conducted their annual food drive to benefit the Norwood Food Pantry. The school collected instant coffee, boxed pasta, and cold cereals, and encouraged members of our community to donate these specific items. To make it even more exciting, they challenged kids to try and bring in the most amount of cans for their grade level, and that the grade that brought in the most would win an extra recess. On Tuesday, November 16th, Principal Rowley and Mr. Marshalsea drove 2 SUVs full of donations to the Norwood Food Pantry. They're excited to announce the winner that this year's food pantry. The grade that brought in the most amount of donations is 1st grade with over 200 items. Congratulations to all the grades for demonstrating a commitment to our community. Hello from room A8 at the Willett. This week, the kindergarten students have begun to learn how traditions shape our lives. They began the unit discussing different types of traditions. Some traditions are cultural in nature, and some are civic, specific to a certain country or state. The holidays discussed were Diwali, Veterans Day, and Thanksgiving. They learned about the Hindu festival of lights, Diwali, and created their own Diya candle holders out of colored model magic clay and adorned them with beads. The Diyas are placed around family homes, both inside and outside, to illuminate the early sunset in the upcoming winter ahead. Diwali honors light over darkness and good versus evil. When discussing Veterans Day, the students in room A8 were excited to learn about the servicemen and women continued their civil service in our neighborhoods as nurses, doctors, firefighters, police officers, mail carriers, and teachers. To show what they learned about soldiers in their service, they created a piece of writing individual to match a serviceman or woman. They felt honored that these brave people chose a career to protect the USA and fight for our freedoms. Closing out the week, the students learned about the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday. Through partner discussions and literature, they learned that Thanksgiving looks both the same and yet a little different in their classmates' homes. The common thread they discovered was that students have something to be thankful for, and that does not arrive in a box with a bow. Many students wrote about being thankful for their families, their homes, and the food they have to eat and share with others. The classroom Thankful Turkey adorns their gratitude on a feather. As the holiday season continues to be upon us, Room A8 is eager to learn about Hanukkah, Christmas, and Kwanzaa to discover if they are civic or cultural traditions. It's a yummy time of the year at the LMPA. The Little Mustangs have begun talking about Thanksgiving and the different foods that they may see. Children have painted cornucopias and read books like Thanks for Thanksgiving and Bear Says Thanks. The students played a game called Yes Please and No Thank You, where students are offered a plate with a picture of food. They say yes please if they would like it or no thank you if they want to pass. This is a favorite game and a great way to practice for their Thanksgiving Day feast. The Little Mustangs have been practicing their table manners during snack as well. LMPA just wrapped up their annual food drive as well for the Norwood Food Pantry. It was a great success and the Little Mustangs are thankful for good food and friends. Well, that's it for school news. There's something interesting happening in our classrooms and schools every day, and thanks to all the educators who share their news with us. Now let's send it over to Mike Maloof with the latest in fall sports.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Sports Update. The fall season has officially wrapped up for all but the football team. And Thursday night, John Longley and the athletic department hosted the annual Fall Sports Awards. Student athletes, coaches, and families were all in attendance in person for the first time since the pandemic began. And Mr. Longley was very happy to have everyone back.
It was an excellent fall. I mean, it was obviously great to have everybody back here in the auditorium. I know last year, I think we did an excellent job doing the virtual banquets, but having everybody back here, able to celebrate a successful fall season was really important, and I think just shows how everything's improving, nationally, and we're looking forward to just continuing to get back to our more normal circumstances. So we've just had a number of successes, a number of, 20-something to 30, over close to 30 TVL All-Stars, and really was, a great fall and a great night celebrating all of the kids and their accomplishments, as always.
Each coach had the opportunity to speak about their team and highlight some standout players. Head coach of the football team, Manny Lopes, announced that senior running back Brian Mateer was named the Tri-Valley Offensive Player of the Year. For Brian, knowing he has one game left in his NHS football career is bittersweet.
And I'm lucky enough I'm going to be able to play college football at the next level, but nothing will be the same as playing high school football. It just means so much to me. I think I've had a great year, but I have one game left and I got to leave it all out on the field. And I just appreciate this team. I love this team so much. Football is a different sport, it means so much. It's just different than the other sports. It's the bond, the friendships, the brotherhood you all create. It's tough. It's going to be tough to see that go, the locker rooms. It's more than just playing football. It's all the stuff out of football, and it's going to suck to lose, but I'm just glad it happened.
For most of the other senior athletes, their fall sports careers have come to an end. Erin Sullivan, captain of the golf team, will look back on her time fondly.
So I'd say I'm pretty excited that I got to spend the last 4 years on the Norwood High golf team. I had a really good season. I had a lot of fun with the guys, and I wouldn't trade this experience for any other team. I've played in a softball team, and this just beats it every single time. Hopefully I get the opportunity to play college golf, and I'll I don't know, it's not the end, so I'm sad, but I'm happy that it happened.
Congrats to all the fall sports athletes on their successful seasons. And a reminder to residents that the next week will be a busy one for NCM sports. Make sure you start your Thanksgiving morning by watching the Mustangs take on Dedham in the annual football game. Coverage will start at 9 a.m. with the pregame show, followed by senior day activities, and then the football game at 10. Then on Saturday, the 2021 Hall of Fame induction ceremony will be at 1 p.m. You can catch both events live on the NCM Community Channel. Well, that's all for the sports update. Make sure you follow us on social media for the upcoming winter sports broadcast times. Kristen, back to you.
In government, the Sustainability Commission met remotely Tuesday evening. Members discussed an upcoming community partnership with the Mass Save Grant. The group also voted to appoint a secretary. The group discussed upcoming recycling initiatives and goals for subcommittees. The group meets next in December. Tuesday morning, the Board of Health met at the Senior Center and began with a presentation from the youth ambassadors about Photo Voice Project. 8th grader Joan from the Coakley Middle School explained to the board what the Photo Voice Project is.
You guys have heard a little bit about the Photo Voice Project by Francisca and Audrey, so we're here to go in depth into what we did this past summer. Photo Voice is a project in which people, usually those with limited power, use videos and/or photos to capture the environment and share with others. The photos can be used to bring the realities of the photographers' lives to the public to make a change.
Following the presentation, representatives from Cedar Markets came before the board to discuss a sanitary report. After much discussion, the board asked the representatives of Cedar Market to provide a sanitation action plan. In old business, the board received 5 reports from the Public Health Nurse, Impact Norwood, Mental Health Awareness Program, Regional Tobacco Collaborative, and the Environmental Health Inspector. To end the meeting, Segal Reese provided a COVID update. The next meeting for the Board of Health will be on December 14th. The Board of Selectmen met Tuesday night with Aisha Karasik, who is being interviewed to become appointed to the Norwood Cultural Council. After a few brief questions, the board unanimously voted to appoint Ms. Karasik to the council. Both Chief Brooks and Chief Hayes submitted their monthly department reports. The Board of Selectmen will meet again on November 30th. Wednesday night, the school committee had 4 appearances, beginning with the principal of the LMPA in Willett School, Stephen Billhart. Principal Billhart announced to the board the new name for their Willett Play Place.
So I've been following a process to name the new playground at LMPA in memory of Carol Poirier. The name of the the play space would be Carol's Corral, is the proposed name of the play space. Just to give the members, I think you might know, but just to give the members who might be new in the last 2 or 3 years, fundraising began for the Willett Playground, I think back in 2018-ish. I've only been here in Norwood for about 14, 15 months, so I have my notes in front of me. About $18,000 in donations were generated. I have information that Carol Poirier was responsible for raising over $6,000 of those funds. I've seen video from Mrs. Reardon, and I've heard from other members about her legacy in Norwood with the children, with the community. So it seems like a wonderful name and an honor to this person and this family for dedicating many, many, many years of her life to the children of the community.
The second appearance was by Eli Norris and Kelsey Massis of the Food Services team. They covered a number of topics, including their meal services and the goals for next year. Then Principal Hugh Galligan and Assistant Principal Cindy Durain appeared before the board for proposed changes to the NHS handbook. And the final appearance was Dr. Wyeth, Principal Frasick, and Mr. Casali discussing the MCAS math analysis. Following the appearances, the board heard the superintendent's report, a budget update, and old business. The next school committee meeting will be on December 1st. For complete government coverage, tune into the NCM Government Channel or watch on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Stay tuned after this break for more town news. Welcome back. Last weekend, the Prescott School hosted an electronic recycling day. This allowed residents to dispose of any unwanted electronics that they may have had sitting around their house. The event was a fundraiser to benefit the end-of-the-year activities for the Prescott 5th graders.
We're here today at the Prescott School having an electronics fundraiser event benefiting the 5th grade class. We're doing an event to raise funds for like end of year celebration for the 5th grade graduation. It'll help pay for the kids' sweatshirts at the end of the year and their yearbooks.
For the yearbook and getting shirts for field day and party at the end of the year for the 5th grade.
Thank you for bringing all your stuff
And for supporting the 5th grade.
Great work by everyone involved. Last weekend, 2 musical groups were in town for some long-awaited performances. On Saturday, the musical group Where Oh Where Is the Light visited the Day House. On Sunday, the ladies of the group called Woman in World Jazz rocked out at the library. Additional concerts will be held all winter long at the library. For additional details, check out the library's calendar. Well, that's all for Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.